I've been told that there were differences in the way the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted.
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Yeah.
Would indicate that one of them
He doesn't have
may
to go
have
up
been
the
the target.
steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. You ain't taking that from me.
Calm down.
If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in the box, and I can speak on that. But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out. They're like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush.
Update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me
text.
to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something
Some mail.
that was mail related.
So I'm going to get to the new clip that had come out today. This clip, it's interesting because he's trying to explain what I guess he meant by the previous interview. And you might have to rewind this video back and listen to it again, the words that he said, and come back to this part after you listen to this part. And I'm going to interject and give you what I think he's trying to imply, because it seems like there's a lot of reading between the lines.
You mentioned here, you talked about the manner in which Kaylee and Maddie were killed is different. And what does that tell you? And what are the police telling you that means?
There's a couple things that tell me with common sense, but I'm not a professional, so I want to specify that. But they've said the entry point was the slider or the window. It was in the middle floor.
The slider or the window, it was then the middle floor.
So to me, he doesn't have to go upstairs. His entry and exit are available without having to go upstairs or downstairs. Looks like he probably may have not gone downstairs. We don't know that for sure, but he obviously went upstairs. So I'm using logic that he chose to go up there when he didn't have to. And I can kind of tell by my daughter's texts, messages. She did call 911. She wasn't saying anything along the lines of like she had heard something or.
So what I believe Kaylee's dad is implying, he's saying that the killer came through the sliding door or the window, the point of entry, more likely the sliding door, and that this person, he said they didn't have to go upstairs. And we got a little confused a little bit yesterday. People were talking about hierarchy, or did he actually mean literally upstairs, or going up the ladder? He literally means the killer didn't have to go upstairs, but he did. And what he's saying is that when he said in the first interview, and then he's saying it again now, he's meaning that he believes, from what I'm taking, his daughter Kaylee and Maddie, her best friend, they were targeted. So this person comes through, and I'm still trying to figure it all out in my head, because one of the possibilities maybe is that this person went straight upstairs. He came in through the sliding glass, went straight upstairs, and maybe Kaylee and Maddie were the first people to be killed, the first targets, and that's when he's talking about the difference in cause of death, the difference in like the way they were maybe stabbed and stuff. So this person comes back down. For some reason, when this person came back down, either they decided, let me go and get Ethan and Xana, or maybe for some reason one of them had woken up, or I'm not sure why this person had to kill these people on the second floor. If that's the scenario, that he just goes in through the sliding door, Xana's room was on the other side. This person doesn't need to go all the way out of his way to go over there to kill these people unless they really wanted to. But the cause of death, the manner of killing and stabbing, I guess, according to the father, what I'm taking from what he's saying is that I believe he's saying his daughter, or the girl, Maddie, was targeted. This person didn't have to go upstairs, but they did. So he's trying to say, obviously, they were they're the intentional targets. I'm not sure why Xana and Ethan were killed. That's what I take from that. But you guys comment down below.
She was in fear, so I'm just putting the dots together. As far as the investigators, they're very tight-lipped, and they're keeping everything close to their vest. And I understand that, and I'm probably not the right person to share all these things with. So I'm just trusting them that their case is super tight, and they don't really need to reach out to the community. And, all the evidence is right there in that home.
So, Steve, and I want to be respectful, as I can tell you're trying to walk this tightrope as well with law enforcement, but the desire to know and get some type of action as well. You've said both now to Rachel and then in the clip in your appearance with Lawrence Jones that your daughter and Maddie had different means or manner of attack, and that suggests one of them was targeted. Can you share with us, do you know, and you can't share either way, which one was targeted?
I can't. I asked for permission to do just that, and they said no. I probably disclosed information that they wish I wouldn't have said, but the story's going cold. There's less people coming to Moscow. I'm not going to go sleep in my bed knowing that I could get up and I could go to town and I could do something. And I'm not going to go away, and I hate to be a pain, but as a father, I just can't even sleep thinking that I could be doing something. So that's why I'm not.
Understandable. Wow.
Let me ask the flip side too. You're being respectful toward police about the fact that they need to be tight-lipped. But if there was something you felt like you deserved to know or you should know as a father at this point, are there questions you have unresolved from the police that you feel like, hey, just throw me a bone here and let me know?
For sure. I mean, alibis. Just share the alibi. If you're not sharing an alibi, to me, it tells me that you're not 100% confident that it's going to stick.
And that almost goes back to the clip from yesterday where Kaylee's mother had said she just feels that they have cleared things a bit too fast with some of the people that have been ruled out.
Is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at, and yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Or you have somebody who's going to come forward and say, hey, I don't know what he told you or that person's alibi was, but I have this information. I have something. So if you don't share the alibi, it makes it a little bit harder for us to just let those go. And I've said it before. I don't want to make victims out of just bystanders and witnesses. So I just share those things, and that would help.
Steve, do you get the sense that you're being asked to not talk more and that law enforcement is being so tight-lipped to protect an investigation that is honing in on a conclusion, or because they're totally lost and there is no real sense of direction? And I think all of us, we want to trust law enforcement. We want them to do their job. But I don't know if you know. I have no idea. Is this thing honing in at this point, or is it scattered all over the place?
That's a really good question. And that's something that I've been wondering myself. I've had talks with friends about this, and people online have talked about this. Some people think that they know who it is, but they're just waiting for more evidence. And other people, I kind of think like they don't know. I don't think they really have much of an idea. Maybe they have some people, but I don't think they really have much.
Wish I knew for sure. I did sit down with the investigator, the lead investigator, and I looked in his eyes, and I got a sense that this guy was going to do everything in his power to figure something out. But if the evidence isn't there, that's the part that I'm concerned. And then there's layers of separation. The communication is not the same as the boots on ground. All the officers that are out on the streets, those guys that are working their tails off. But there's a different person who does the communication, and that guy's sitting with the lawyer, and that guy's sitting there telling him, you know, you got to protect things that are beyond the case, like the town and the community and the college itself.
And that's a really interesting point that he brings. And again, I'm trying to like read between lines and taking into account yesterday's clips, and where he even talked about the reward money. Why isn't there like reward money? And then having these posters up everywhere, maybe that would, people in town wouldn't like seeing that, or even in the college, or would that maybe bring less people to the town or less people to the college? And I just think about too the influences of that town, the small 25,000 people town, the church that owns a lot of businesses out there,
and the college itself. Those don't matter as much to me. I mean, I definitely don't want to hurt them, but I have an agenda, and I think it's pretty clear. It's these two girls, and that's what I'm working for, and I'm not going to let that story fall apart just because they don't want wanted posters, you know, on their next rush of students that come into town.
And you know, I mean, what he's saying, man, that part there, I don't think that's like far-fetched or crazy at all. Just from little tidbits and things that I've been hearing. I mean, I'm not surprised. I even in other unrelated stories, just in general, I've seen places that, you know, they don't want in larger cities, or, you know, they don't want posters. Some people are honestly, frankly, think they're dicks when they don't want that up in some of their businesses and stuff like that. Maybe they think it'll have a negative effect, but I can especially see that in a small town. I can see there, I'm sure, with the university and maybe some of the top people in that city, maybe they're trying to, like, you know, they end the school thinking about the next, when all the new kids come in.
Wow. You know, I have to say, Steve, I hadn't really considered those factors, but it's obvious that that would be a consideration for the communications director of the police department and also the PR for the school and the town. Are you communicating with the parents of the other victims? Are they feeling as frustrated as you are? And I hate to ask a two-part question, but I'm going to do it anyway. Do you feel confident in the police investigation and the people investigating right now?
I do not feel confident, and that's why I push the envelope and say a little bit more. I hate to be that guy, but you know, there's a job to do for everybody. Has a job and a role to play, and this includes, this is my role as the parent. I have talked to, obviously, Maddie's mother and her father, and I've talked to Xana's father, and he said, hey, you can speak on behalf and you can help push this narrative. So I feel confident there. That's as far as the real communications that I have. So one family have missed out to being able to be in the same location and the same thing, to really get on the same page. So I try not to mention that and stay within my lane of what
It must be talking about Ethan's family, I guess.
Is my role. And I'm not trying to just gear it all to my daughter. It's just I can't speak for other people.
Yeah. Steve, before we let you go, just share a little bit with our audience about Kaylee.
Kaylee was amazing, hard worker. She was like, she hung out with two boys, her brother and her cousin, and she was right in between them. She wanted to be faster than them. She was that girl that was like really like, she was kind of like this a Punky Brewster type girl. And we missed out on a really smart person that was going to be a little conservative. She was conservative too. She was always looking up stories on child, you know, getting trafficked, and she was telling me that she thinks it's a lot bigger than people understand. So, and you know, we can't replace her, guys. There's no replacing any one of these people.
Steve, we're all parents on this couch, and I just can't tell you how much we feel for you, and can't imagine what you're going through, you and your whole family. And I know that you came on the show today because you're hoping that people that might have information, you're hoping that more information come forward. And so we encourage anybody to call 208-883-7180. The phone number is on the screen right now. And I've heard you say it before, Steve, it could be anything. You have no idea how small the piece of information could be that could help.
You know, and Steve, good on you for agitating.
Yes.
We need more men and fathers willing to do precisely what you're doing, keeping people honest and working toward a solution. God bless you.
You're doing your daughter's memory proud. And frankly, you're an amazing example of fatherhood, even after something tragic like this happened to her. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
You guys comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. Check out our Discord server. Join the community. Lots of conversation going on there, especially revolving this case. Also check out Swagit. Hit the link, download the app, the channel sponsor. At the end of the month, we're doing a giveaway. So yeah, thank you. Take care. Peace. Bloop, bloop.